There's a purple flower that keeps almost every biting bug away from your skin and calms your mind within seconds of breathing it in. No spray, no pill, no side effects at all. People have grown it outside their doors for over 2,000 years. Doctors know it works. And almost none of them will ever tell you to plant it instead of buying what they prescribe. Stay with me. You already know this flower. You have walked past it 100 times. Lavender. Those tall purple spikes you see in gardens and pots by front doors and little dried bundles people hang in their closets. Most people think of it as just a pretty plant with a nice smell. A flower you grow because it looks good and makes the yard smell sweet. And that is exactly the mistake the modern world wants you to make. Because lavender is not a decoration. It is one of the most useful plants a human being can grow. A bug repellent, a sleep aid, and a calming medicine, all in one plant that costs a few dollars and grows for years. Stop for a second and think about how strange that is. A single plant that does the job of a bottle of bug spray, a bottle of sleep aid, and a bottle of calming medicine. 3 separate products you would pay for separately at the store, all growing quietly in one pot for the price of a packet of seeds. If someone tried to sell you a product that did all 3 things, it would cost a fortune, and they would advertise it everywhere. But because it grows in the dirt and anyone can have it, almost no one talks about it at all. That silence is not an accident. That silence is the whole story. And the reason you were taught to see it as just a pretty flower instead of the powerful tool it actually is the same reason almost everything useful gets forgotten. Stay with me, because once you understand what is inside those purple spikes, you will never look at lavender the same way again. Let me show you why the bugs stay away from it first, because this part is real science and it is stronger than you think. Lavender makes an oil inside its leaves and flowers. That oil is full of a natural compound called linalool. Linalool is what gives lavender its strong, sweet smell. To you, that smell is pleasant. To a mosquito, it is a wall. Here is why. A mosquito does not find you with its eyes. It finds you with smell. It follows the carbon dioxide you breathe out and the scent your skin gives off, and it follows that trail straight to your arm. That is how it knows where to land and bite. Linalool breaks that system. When the air around you is full of lavender scent, the mosquito's smell sensors get overloaded. It cannot find the trail anymore. It cannot tell where you are. The same thing that makes lavender smell wonderful to you makes you invisible to the bug. And this is not a guess. Studies have shown that lavender oil works in a way very similar to DEET, the harsh chemical in every bug spray you buy. One study found lavender oil blocked around 80% of mosquito bites and kept working for up to 8 hours. Another found it was over 90% effective indoors, and it does not stop at mosquitoes. Linalool also drives away flies, fleas, ticks, and moths. One plant. Almost every common biting and crawling pest, gone. And here is something most people never stop to think about. The bug spray you buy at the store, the one with the long chemical name and the warning label, works on the exact same idea. It overloads the bug's sense of smell so it cannot find you. That is the whole trick. Lavender does the same job, using a scent that nature spent millions of years perfecting. Except lavender does it without the warning label, without the chemical that melts plastic, and without anything you would worry about putting on your child's skin. The spray companies did not invent a new way to stop bugs. They invented a way to sell you a bottle of something a plant was already doing for free. They took nature's idea, put it in a can, and put a price on it. The flower was first. The flower was always first. Now hold on, because the bugs are only half the story. The other half is what lavender does to your mind. And this is the part that should make you angry. Breathe in lavender, and within seconds, something changes inside you. Your heart rate slows, your shoulders drop, the tight, wound-up feeling in your chest loosens. This is not your imagination. This is a measured, documented effect that has been studied over and over. When you breathe in that linalool, it travels through your nose and signals your brain to calm down. Research has shown that lavender can lower feelings of anxiety, reduce stress, and help people fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. Some studies have found it works on mild anxiety about as well as people would hope a gentle medicine would, with no grogginess, no dependency, and no side effects the next morning. Think about what that means. Millions of people lie awake at night, unable to shut their minds off. Millions more feel anxious, tense, wound too tight to relax. And the answer most of them are given is a pill. A pill that costs money every month. A pill that can leave you groggy. A pill your body can come to depend on. Meanwhile, a purple flower that you can grow in a pot on your windowsill does much of the same job. Calms the mind, quiets the nerves, brings on sleep. For the price of a packet of seeds. And almost no doctor will ever mention it. And think about who needs this most. Older people, who often struggle to sleep through the night. People on a fixed income who feel every dollar a monthly pill costs them. People who do not want to add one more chemical to the handful they already swallow every morning. For all of these people, a plant that calms the mind and brings sleep with nothing but its scent is not a small thing. It is the difference between depending on a bottle and growing your own peace on a windowsill. The flower asks for sunlight and a little water. The pill asks for a prescription, a pharmacy, and a payment every single month for as long as you need it, which the makers very much hope is forever. So let me answer the question in the title directly. Why don't doctors mention it? Here is what should make you furious. It is not because lavender does not work. The science says it works. It is not because doctors are bad people. Most of them want to help you. The real reason is built into the whole system around them, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A doctor is trained inside a system funded by the drug industry, medical schools, research studies, the conferences doctors attend, the materials they read. An enormous amount of it is paid for, directly or indirectly, by companies that sell drugs. Those companies make money when a doctor writes a prescription. They make nothing when a doctor tells you to plant a flower. There's no sales rep walking into a doctor's office handing out free samples of lavender. There's no company with $1 billion budget running ads telling you to grow your own calm. Lavender cannot be patented. It cannot be owned. Anyone can grow it. And a thing that anyone can grow for free is a thing that no large company has any reason to promote. So the doctor learns about the pill because the pill has an entire industry pushing it into view. And the doctor never learns much about the flower because the flower has no one pushing it at all. It is not a conspiracy in a dark room. It is simpler and sadder than that. The useful free thing just gets drowned out by the profitable expensive thing, year after year, until an entire society forgets the flower was ever medicine and starts believing it is only a decoration. And once you see this pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. The free thing that works gets forgotten. The expensive thing that works gets an industry, a marketing budget, a place on every shelf and in every doctor's office. It is not that the expensive thing is fake. The pill often works. The spray often works. It is that the free thing also worked for thousands of years and got quietly pushed out of memory because there was no money in reminding you it existed. A plant in your garden generates no profit for anyone. A bottle on a shelf generates profit every time you buy it. Guess which one gets remembered and which one gets forgotten. The whole modern world is shaped by that single difference, and most people never notice it happening. The same thing happened with the bugs. Before the chemical spray companies existed, people protected themselves from biting insects with plants. Lavender by the door. Lavender hung in the windows. Lavender rubbed on the skin before going out at dusk. It was normal. It was everywhere. Then the chemical companies arrived with a bottle and a powerful marketing machine, and they sold the idea that real bug protection comes from a spray can, not a garden. And the lavender that had guarded doorways for 2,000 years became, in people's minds, just a pretty smell. Because that history is the real story here. This is not some new discovery. People have used lavender for over 2,000 years. The ancient Egyptians used it. The ancient Romans put it in their baths to clean and calm themselves. The very name comes from the Latin word meaning to wash. They carried it into battle to treat wounds. For centuries, people laid lavender among their stored clothes and linens to keep the moths away, and the practice worked so well it never died out completely. Your own grandmother may have kept a lavender sachet in her drawer. During times of plague and sickness, people wore lavender and burned it, believing it protected them. Much of that old knowledge turned out to have real science behind it. The people who used lavender for thousands of years were not being superstitious. They had simply noticed, over countless generations, that this one plant did remarkable things, and they were right. Think about how many generations had to pass that knowledge down for it to survive 2,000 years. A mother showing a daughter how to tuck lavender among the linens. A healer teaching a young apprentice which plant calmed a racing heart. A soldier packing dried flowers into a wound. Person to person, hand to hand, century after century, the knowledge was carried forward because it worked, and people could see that it worked. It took thousands of years to build that chain of knowledge, and it took only a few decades of modern marketing to nearly break it. To convince a whole society that the answer was always in a bottle, and the flower was always just for show. You are one of the few who is about to pick that broken chain back up. So here is what you can do with all of this, starting right now. Lavender is one of the easiest, useful plants you can grow. It loves sun. It loves dry, poor soil, the kind of ground where other plants struggle. It hates being overwatered, which means it asks almost nothing from you. Once it is established, it survives heat, it survives drought, and it comes back year after year. You can grow it in the ground along a path or a doorway, or in a simple pot on a sunny windowsill or porch. A single plant costs a few dollars at a nursery, or you can start it from seed for even less. Plant it once, and with a little sun and well-drained soil, it can keep producing for years. For keeping bugs away, place lavender plants near the spots where you sit outside, by the porch, around the patio, near doors and windows where mosquitoes try to get in. When you brush against the plant or rub a few leaves and flowers between your fingers, it releases its oils into the air and onto your skin, and that is when the bug-repelling scent is strongest. You can also cut the flower spikes, dry them, and hang small bundles indoors or tuck them among your stored clothes to keep moths out, the same way people have done for hundreds of years. For an even stronger effect, you can crush the dried flowers and rub them on your skin before going outside, or steep them to make a simple scented water to mist around doorways. One honest note, because I will always be straight with you. A single lavender plant sitting in the corner of a big yard is not a force field. The strongest bug-repelling effect comes when you release the oils. By brushing the plant, crushing the leaves, or using the dried flowers directly on your skin and clothes, not just from the plant standing there, plant it where you will touch it and sit near it. That is how the people who relied on it for centuries actually used it. They did not just look at it, they crushed it, rubbed it, hung it, and carried it. Used that way, it genuinely works. For calm and for sleep, the simplest method is also the oldest. Keep a small bundle of dried lavender by your bed, or a few drops of the oil on your pillow, and breathe it in as you fall asleep. Many people find a few minutes breathing the scent before bed helps them drift off faster and wake less during the night. A small bowl of dried lavender flowers in a room slowly fills the air with that calming scent all day. You can also brew the dried flowers into a mild tea, the way people have for generations, and sip it in the evening as your body winds down. There's nothing to swallow that could harm you, nothing to measure carefully, no risk of taking too much. You simply breathe or sip, the plant does the rest. And here's the quiet bonus. When you grow lavender for the bugs and the calm, you also get one of the best plants on earth for the bees. Lavender flowers are loved by bees and butterflies, and a patch of it brings pollinators into your whole garden, which helps every other plant you grow produce more. So a single, cheap, nearly indestructible plant gives you bug protection, natural calm, better sleep, a beautiful scent, and a healthier garden, all at once, all for the price of a few seeds. Now step back and see what we're really talking about. A flower that has guarded human doorways for 2,000 years. A flower the Romans bathed in and carried into war. A flower your grandmother kept in her drawer. It keeps the bugs off your skin as well as a chemical spray. It quiets your mind as gently as anything in a bottle. It helps you sleep without a single pill. And it grows almost anywhere, for almost nothing. It comes back every year on its own. The drug companies cannot sell it to you because you can grow it yourself. The spray companies cannot profit from it because it costs you nothing to use. So both of them, in their own way, helped you forget that it was ever anything more than a pretty purple flower. It was never just a decoration. It was one of the oldest medicines our species ever found. The plant is still here. It still smells the same. The bugs still hate it. Your mind still loves it. The only thing that was ever lost was the memory of what it could do, and now you have that back. The next time you walk past those purple spikes in someone's garden, you will not see a decoration. You will see a bug repellent, a sleep aid, and a calming medicine standing quietly in the dirt, waiting for someone to remember what it is. That someone is now you. The flower has waited. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe and hit the bell. Every like and every share preserves what they tried to erase. The next vault opens soon.